and this big story that Arsenal could move for David Raya, bring him into Arsenal. What does that mean for Ramsdale when you're spending 35, 40 million pounds on another goalkeeper who is definitely a modern ball-playing goalkeeper? We're going to go to Nick, who's an Arsenal fan. He's got an opinion on this, and Aaron Ramsdale. Nick, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, I think we do need another goalkeeper to come in. Following reasons, I think Ramsdale's decision-making regarding his ball distribution at the back has been questionable. He is prone to a few mistakes like the tail end of last season. So I think that's down to him having... He's complacent within his position because he has no real competition for the number one goalkeeper at Arsenal. And as I was telling your research earlier on, the art of goalkeeping has changed significantly in the last 5 years, where you're not booting the ball out now, you're actually playing the ball out. So you're an extension of the ball-playing team. You're not just there to punt the ball out. Ramsdale needs competition for that position because I think from a psychological point of view, he's become complacent within that position, where he's getting allowed to get away with a few bits and pieces because Turner is not a real competition for that position. And as the bulletin just pointed out now, that Nottingham Forest are making inquiries about Matt Turner. We just need a goalkeeper in to push Ramsdale to another level. If he can't achieve that level, then Raya comes in and steps in.
Yeah, I agree with everything you say there. And I think that the interesting thing is that with Ramsdale, he has made a few mistakes. I think he's a really, really good goalkeeper. But I always almost sympathise with these goalkeepers, Nick, because when they were probably learning the game, it was all about saving shots. And you're right, the game has changed now. And we had it with De Gea. It's not their fault. They're still really good goalkeepers. I'd have Ramsdale as England number one easy. But you're right in what you say. It's this modern goalkeeper. He isn't a modern goalkeeper, just like De Gea.
I'm not questioning his ability because obviously he's a very good goalkeeper. Otherwise, Arsenal wouldn't have bought all that money out to buy him in the first place. My point is that he's not got real competition at the club.
Yeah.
If he had real competition at the club, maybe he'll think twice about his decision making in terms of playing the ball out the back. Because he did cut a lot of defenders short last season by playing the ball short, which forced the decision-making of the defenders to push the ball in midfield maybe a little bit too early. Yeah. And he is prone to mistakes. He is. But as you pointed out, and as I pointed out, the art of goalkeeping has changed significantly in the last five to 6 years, where you're not booting the ball out, now you're passing the ball out. And I don't think Ramsdale, I'm not going to question his ability, but is he up to that standard that we're required to push on? I don't think he is. And he needs some proper competition just to make him think twice about what he's doing.
Nick, thank you very much for calling in. Love to get some more Arsenal fans calling in on this David Raya story from Brentford, modern goalkeeper against Ramsdale, who is definitely a fan favourite. Where do you sit on this? You've obviously got an opinion. 03717 22 33 44. I think what's also interesting as well is just going through some stats here. David Raya, forward passes last season in the Premier League was number one. Very good accuracy. Ramsdale was number 10. Passes per 90 last season, Raya was number 3, Ramsdale was number 13. And then save rate last season, David Raya was number 1, Ramsdale was number 12. I mean, I know stats can be deceiving, but I think that this is exactly what I said last week. I like Ramsdale, but if you want what if you want what Man City have got and Liverpool have got and Man United have now got, this is a very urgent and necessary move by Arteta. The only thing I'd disagree with the previous caller there is that if you bring a player like David Raya in as a goalkeeper to battle it out with Ramsdale, I don't think that works. I don't think that works because you've got two number ones there. And United had this with Henderson a few years ago. And you're always looking over your shoulder. And I remember speaking to Ben Foster about this about a year ago. And he said, as a goalkeeper, you want to know your number one. You don't want to be looking on the bench and going, that guy wants my shirt, because you will make mistakes. And it gets into your head. You've got to know your number one. You've got to deserve to be number one. But when, and maybe some of you can tell me, when has there been a situation where a top club has had two number ones who just fight it out with each other? There has to be some consistency there, and it'd be very interesting what happens if this happens. I think Arteta's right to do it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that Ramsdale won't be number one. It might just be put him on his toes.